Well, there are no lambs here this morning, but I know that they may be tuned in from home. One of our lambs called us on the phone about 4 a.m. this morning. Harper evidently is an early riser, and she and her mom, I think mom was chasing after the cat or something in the backyard, had laid her phone down, and so she thought that was a wonderful opportunity to call Mimi, and so our phone rang, and she still hasn't learned to speak very much. She could have said hey, but she didn't. She just kind of grunted into the phone, and I think she knew that she had somehow or another connected with Mimi. We were out, Harper joined us at O'Brien's restaurant last Friday night, and they asked her, where was Pops? And it thrilled my heart just that she pointed to me. She actually, I wonder if she knew who Pops was, and she obviously does. Liz says sometimes in the nursery she thinks when I'm hollering and carrying on out here that I'm hollering to her. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'll try to be more perceptive. The sun is trying to shine out there. Who knows what's going to happen? But we talk with the children today about, I'm going to be talking today in the message about bad news and good news. Sometimes when we look at things, sometimes it might be impossible to see good coming from it. Or if we look at things, sometimes it's difficult to see a way through it or to see a path or know what to do. But it's very important to remember that God is the God who brings something from nothing. Let me show you something today. I haven't done this kind of trick in a long time, but if you examine and look at I could say there's nothing up my sleeves, but I have short sleeves on today. So if you look at my hands, and I could lace my fingers together and show you back and front, and to do everything that I could possibly to indicate to you that there's nothing in my hands. I wanted to create an illustration here of what God can do. You know, if a silly human being can do something that seems unusual, then surely God can far surpass that. He has not just trickery, but miraculous ability. And so from apparently empty hands, one might find a George Washington $1 bill. I would like to be able to tell you that it never surprises me what God does or can do. But he surprises me all the time. Not so much he surprises me, is that I am surprised. I think that even when I get to heaven, after all this preaching and teaching, and after everything that I believed or everything that I declared, I say when I go to heaven, I'll say it's true, you know, and here it is. And it's more than true. It's more than I imagined. It's greater than I ever described it. That's something I know that we preachers who preach about heaven will find that we did not do it justice at all. Have faith. Sometimes we can look and add up all the columns and we can see reasons for being optimistic or positive, reasons for trusting God, reasons for holding on and continuing in the faith, as we might find encouragement in all these things. And yet God is still able to bring something from nothing. He is able to bring good things out of situations that we think are too far gone or have no hope at all. It's a wonderful thing that God is a great and powerful God, and he is not limited by us. There are many people who would tell you that when you and I fail to believe, or when we are weak, that somehow that incapacitates God, or that limits God, or the reason this didn't happen, or this did happen, is because we let God down, or we failed. But Paul said this. He says, even if we do not believe, yet God is faithful. And he is keeping his word. I like that phrase, and I read this at a funeral just last Saturday, that he leads us in the right paths for his name's sake. You see, God has a reputation to hold as someone who not only knows what he's doing, but it does it right well. And so God is bringing things to pass. And just because you and I can't see it or even believe it, we can trust God. Now, some people believe that that's nonsense, it's foolishness, And that our faith, or even any and all religion, is not based upon reason or upon intellect or upon knowledge. But that's not what we're saying. We're not denying truth or science or fact or actuality. We're just saying that sometimes when there are things that we cannot see, we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, we can't see the path to take, we cannot see the answers to or hear the answers to our questions. It doesn't mean that God doesn't know them and have them, and that in due time he will share them with us. We can trust him even when we can't see him. You think about that, and it's far more valuable what God brings to us than a wealth or money or fame or fortune or even success. God has something wonderful for us. And even though we can't see it, doesn't mean that God is not working. Okay, Brother Danny, continue to lead us as we sing.